Hi friends, you are in for a treat today. It is Sad Girl Video Day. I don't know if you can hear the storm going on. It's very rainy, very moody, lots of thunder, which is very appropriate for the video that's happening today. I am struggling with grief right now, and the last thing I want to do is make videos about vintage decor right now, which is what I normally do. But I am not feeling it. A lot of you have mentioned that you just want me to make videos about anything and you'll watch it. And that's what today is. I came to a point where, I kind of hoped that my sad feeling would pass and I would feel the urge to make happy YouTube videos again, but that has not happened. And I either have to keep putting off making videos until I feel better, or I just talk about what's going on. And I don't know about you, but talking about how I'm feeling makes me feel a little bit better. So I'm just going to share. If we knew each other on a personal level, like not through a screen, you would learn pretty quickly about me that I'm a very transparent and open person. I can be an oversharer. I'll talk about anything with anybody. And that's why I'm gonna film this video and I'm just gonna talk about my sad girl summer. And I've been debating making this video for a while. I was just constantly thinking people will judge me, or people will think that I'm not gonna bring up the reasons why I thought the things that I assume people will think about me. I'm just gonna film this video because I hope that it maybe helps another person that is struggling in the same situation, or that it helps me. I'm hoping that this might be a cathartic experience for me to talk about it. Right now, I'm struggling with being single, and I'm also dealing with heartbreak at the same time. I was married before, which I have talked about, and that marriage ended quite a while ago. And I didn't share about this, but I had another relationship also since my marriage ended, and that relationship has now ended. And so I am facing being alone at age 30 and living alone. For those of you who have been married for a really long period of time, or for those of you who are just really independent, you might not get why this is so hard, which I totally understand. But for those of you who have a fear of being alone, you get it. I feel like I was designed as a person to be in a relationship. I think I thrive and I am at my best when I have another person to care for. It feels like, the only way I can describe it is it feels unnatural for me to be alone. It just doesn't feel right. I hate being alone. It is the worst. I desperately want to find the person that is right for me. A few different times I thought that I had found that, but I was wrong. And now I'm here, feeling lonelier than ever. Sometimes I don't feel that lonely, but sometimes I really do. And I'm planning on crying. So if you don't want to watch a video about a girl being sad about being single, and if you get uncomfortable watching people cry, do not watch this video. I brought my hanky with me, so here we go. Instead of doing the easier thing, which would be to find another relationship that would probably end up not being right for me, I'm trying really hard to sit in this uncomfortable, unnatural feeling of being by myself. As awful as it feels for me, I know that the right decision is for me to be single and to deal with it and overcome it. And there's a lot of times when you know the right thing to do, but you just don't want to do it. And that's what this is. And I'm trying to do the right thing, as hard as it is. During this breakup grief process, I have been going to the beach every night after work around sunset, unless I have plans with friends or plans by myself, which I will talk about later, the things that I'm actually doing to try to get through this. But after work around sunset, I like to go for walks on the beach, and then I also like to go swimming. Nothing relieves my anxiety and my depression more than being at the beach. It is very, very soothing. It always, you know how like they say, like when you look up at the stars, it makes you feel like you're such a small person in this big universe. That is how I feel when I'm at the beach, when I see like the big waves and when I see just the vastness of Lake Michigan. It makes my problems seem smaller, which is always helpful for me. Some days I like to read, and this is the book that I'm reading right now. It's actually therapy homework, and it has been crazy helpful. The words in this book, it is like they're writing specifically about me, and I'm sure I'm not the only person that feels that way. It's called Attached. It's by Amir Levine and Rachel Heller. The New Science of Adult Attachment and How It Can Help You Find and Keep Love. So it's for people in relationships and people that are single. If you have relationship issues, if you're single, going through a breakup, whatever, this is a great book. Also, if you need help finding a therapist, I'm going to have information down below how I found my amazing therapist. I will have the link to the website where I found her. Having a therapist, if you have the resources to have one, it has been crazy helpful for me, and I'm so grateful that I have my full-time job so that I can afford having a therapist again. So I thought I was doing really well with my grief in the beginning. I thought that it was going to pass really quickly, but that was very deceiving, and it was just delayed for whatever reason. I've had some really, really bad days and weeks that I feel like I just can't get past. The guy that I dated in my last relationship actually found this beach for me. We came here together, and he started skipping rocks, and he tried to teach me how to do it, but I'm so awful at that. And he was always amazing at everything that I was terrible at. And I was amazing at everything he was terrible at. And you would think that that would be complimentary, but ironically, the words that came out of my mouth when I couldn't take it anymore were just too different. And I hate that these memories come up when I'm trying to enjoy being by myself and enjoy alone time. But as I learned from one of my favorite movies of all time, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, even though these memories are awful right now and they feel like a jab into an open wound, eventually these memories will be something that I cherish and that I will be grateful for.
One of my simple pleasures in life is when my mood matches the beach. Even if I'm miserable and the weather's miserable, I try to go out. It's like the ultimate form of validation.
After the breakup, I was at first relieved that the relationship was over, and I confidently knew that it was the right decision. I didn't second guess myself, and my friends and family were shocked at how well I was doing. In the back of my head, though, I kept waiting for the real wave of grief to hit me. It didn't feel right that I wasn't depressed, to be honest. And they say that grief comes in waves, and it's absolutely true. Some days the waves are calm and it's a beautiful sunny day and you think, that's it, you've made it, you got through it, and it'll be happiness from here on out. But then a few days or weeks later, a storm rolls in and the weather is miserable, and so are you. And the clouds overtake the sun and it feels like you'll just never be happy again. And the pain is so awful and you're desperate to not feel anything anymore. And as a person who feels a lot and feels everything very deeply and loves completely and fully, experiencing losing someone is incredibly difficult and feels impossible to move on from. I often wish that my feelings would just go away and be silent forever. But thankfully, I once had a person in my life that I told them that, how sometimes I hated my feelings, and they told me that feeling things deeply is a gift, and I have held on to that ever since. One day I'll meet the right person for me, and I will give them the gift of my care and devotion, and they'll get to cherish it forever. And I don't know who that person will be, and they don't know me either, but one day it'll happen, and I'm holding on to that. Until then, until I find that person, I am going to give myself some of that love that I would normally give to another person. My good friend Becky, who is a very strong, independent single woman who, to be honest, I look up to. If you watched my How to Make Friends video, she's the one that I met at Aldi in the checkout lane, and I am so grateful that we met. I told her about my breakup, and she told me that I should treat myself like I'm my best friend. So I should ask myself, like, as my best friend, what do I need right now? Like, maybe I need to focus on self-care. That might help. And for instance, she told me to paint my nails because it might make me feel better. And I have painted my nails ever since we had that conversation. And it does make me feel a little extra special. And I've been doing some other self-care things that have helped. I also told her how sad I was about the memories and the routines that I had with my person, and how I was so sad that those things would be done. For instance, the thing that I said was I was really sad that I wouldn't get to go to Costco with them anymore and get my favorite croissants. And she said that, you know, maybe we can find a new place to get good croissants, which is true. And now I'm on a mission to find really good croissants. She told me to make new memories with the things that I associated with that person and to have new experiences. And all of her advice has been so helpful. For instance, I would tell my best friend to get extra special baked goods so that I have something to look forward to when I come home, or something to look forward to get out of bed in the morning. I would tell my best friend that if she's sad, to text another friend so that you can talk with someone. And as oh my, the storm is so bad that we lost power. I have not lost power while I've lived here. We'll see what happens. I live out in the country, so who knows how long it will take. Anyway, I was talking about the great philosopher Miley Cyrus, who says you can buy yourself flowers, and that's what I'm doing. I bought a giant bunch of gladiolas for myself, and they're all over my house. But most importantly, I would tell my best friend to let it out, to let out your feelings, to cry it out. Just cry and cry and cry. Whenever you need to cry, don't stifle it. Whenever you have feelings, don't push them down. Don't distract yourself. Just feel those feelings. And while you feel those feelings, be compassionate with yourself. Don't berate yourself for having those feelings. Don't think that you're stupid, or that why is this such a big deal? Why is this so hard for me? Why can't I just get over this person? Why am I being so dramatic? Why can't I stop crying? It's perfectly valid that you miss that person. It makes sense that you do. And it's hard and it's awful. But it's okay that you feel that way. You loved that person with all your heart, and that is worth being emotional over. It will pass eventually. It will get easier with time, and in a few months or years, who knows how long it will take, but it will pass, and you will be a new person, and you will have changed for the better. You'll be stronger, and when the right person does come around, you'll be ready. So get out of bed and keep going. Okay, now on to the more positive part. I'm working really hard on making new memories. And thank goodness, over the past year, I worked really hard on focusing on making new friends. So I have a support system that cares about me and knows what I'm going through. Friends and family. My parents have really been there for me, and I'm so grateful for them. There were some days that were so hard that I spent the night at their house, and I haven't spent the night at their house since I lived there when I was like 17. So I've been able to go out with my friends and make new memories. I went to a girls walking group with my friend Becky, which was a lot of fun. I've also worked really hard on going out on my own, by myself, and doing things. A big thing about a breakup is the loss of not just the person, but also like the routines that you have together. And so I'm working on making new routines for myself. One of those routines is on Sunday. I have been going to this same coffee shop, and they have really good almond croissants. So I get one of those every single Sunday, and I read my book, and I try to talk to a few different people every time I'm at that coffee shop. I've also started taking myself on dates. And so if you have any good suggestions for dates to do by yourself, I would love to hear those in the comments. So these are things that I would normally do with a partner, and I don't want to lose those things just because I'm not in a relationship. So I plan on going to the movies by myself. I still haven't done that yet, but I'm going to. I have this favorite restaurant in the city where I work, and it is a restaurant that I used to go to with my former boyfriend, and we have memories there, and I love that restaurant, and I thought it would be really, really hard for me to go there, and I decided to tackle it, and I went there by myself, and I was very nervous going, and I didn't know if I'd end up crying while I was there, but I told the host that this was my first time eating out at a restaurant by myself, which is true. It was the first time like going to like a sit-down restaurant alone, and he was so nice, and he let me sit at a table by myself and not at the bar, so that I could people watch, which was great, and I brought my book to read. And my waitress was so sweet and was excited for me about my me date. So that was a great experience, and I highly recommend it. I thought it was going to be awful, but it was great. But my me dates haven't all been winners. One thing that I did that I thought would be no problem, it didn't even cross my mind that I would be sad doing this. I went to the farmer's market by myself because the farmer's market is amazing. It's like the perfect summer girl thing to do, tote bag girl. And you know who also goes to farmer's markets? Couples and families with babies and little kids. And it just reminds you of how lonely you are. So I sat with those feelings for a minute, and then I found a stall that was selling fresh baked goods, and I stuffed my face with baked goods while I walked around, and that helped me not be sad anymore. Can you tell that I love baked goods? They're like the thing that makes life worth living, and I'm just gonna eat a lot of them. Then I went on a few dates before I made the decision that I need to sit with being single, and that was a terrible idea. So I'm not going to be doing that for a while. But then I went to some thrift stores that I used to go to with my former boyfriend, and that felt good to do that. And that's when I actually found this super cute, cozy fall cardigan. I was a little sad being at that thrift store alone, and then I found this cardigan. So the universe is rewarding me for doing things by myself. Then I went to this vintage market. It's a Vintage in the Zoo. That's what it's called. It's in Kalamazoo, Michigan. And I used to go to that with my boyfriend, and I hadn't been there alone, and I was very proud of myself for walking around alone, and it was just, it's great. It's being places where you don't feel alone. So going to like those flea markets, I can talk to people, and I can compliment people's outfits, and people complimented my outfit, and it was just, it's a great way to still get a social interaction, and it fills me up, which is really helpful and makes me feel like I had a good day. Some days I am happy and I am thriving living this single life, and other days I am miserable and can barely get out of bed. But I have a lot of things planned that I'm looking forward to. I am going on this trip to Chicago where I'm going to meet my Canadian pen pal. That's going to be so fun. And I'm planning a bunch of trips for myself. And I'm going to try going on my very first solo trip, so that would be cool. And I haven't decided where I'm going. I'm like debating New York City at Christmas time, because that has always been a goal of mine. And I definitely think that this Halloween and Christmas is going to be the worst. Being completely single for the first time, in a house where I'm totally alone. This holiday season is going to be really rough, and I'm thinking that I need to plan trips for myself. And I can't think of anything more magical than New York City at Christmas time, so if you have any tips about New York City at Christmas, you can leave those in the comments too. But on those days where I can barely get out of bed, I generally watch some of my favorite breakup movies, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, La La Land, 500 Days of Summer, and then even like When Harry Met Sally is another one. That one is kind of 50-50, but I love that movie, and there are lots of breakups in that film. And then I cry while I watch those movies, and then I have my Oppa's hankies, and it makes me feel like my Oppa is drying my tears, which makes me feel very comforted. I hope in a few months I will be a strong, independent single woman who can handle just about anything, and a single woman who decides what people are worthy to date, because I am so comfortable and happy being alone that I won't accept anything less. I hope that for me. And if you are like me and you are currently single, you're going through a breakup, or if you are in a relationship where you're unhappy, then this video is for you too. If you're a person who's in a relationship and you are unhappy in it, but you are in it because you are so scared of being alone, I understand you deeply, and you deserve more. Being alone is so, so scary, but feel the fear and do it anyway. Okay, I got that out. Thank you everybody for listening. And the one thing that is a huge blessing, and I can't help but think that there is some higher power that made this happen for me, that that I got kittens brought to my home by the stray cat that I've been caring for. By the way, me saying a higher power is not an invitation to talk about religion. I, on purpose, don't bring up religion on my YouTube channel. This is a safe space for everybody. Everyone's allowed to believe whatever they want. So anyway, I have adopted 2 kittens, and I love these 2 kittens with all my heart, and I decided on the names. So I have a Siamese one, and that one's named Rosie. Oh, I named them after my favorite holiday movie, which is White Christmas. I named them after the 2 actresses in that movie. So the Siamese one is Rosie for Rosemary Clooney, and then the black cat is named Vera for Vera Ellen. So they're Rosie and Vera. And wow, they are so energetic, and they are constantly chasing each other, and I still have not been able to pet them or hold them. They are too fast. Like whenever I get within like 2 feet of them, they run away from me. But I hope to be able to befriend them at some point. But they do like to watch me. They're very curious. So I think we'll get along. Anyway, I'm going to close out this video with footage of the Haynes sisters, as they are called in White Christmas. Thanks for watching, friends, and if you are going through a hard time right now, I am holding you in my heart. I promise. Hang in there.
Hello. Good kitties. This is our first time playing. I'm so proud of you. Thank you for coming out. Oh, I'm so proud of you. Good job. What a good kitty. Oh my goodness. Oh, good morning. Thank you so much for coming out. I'm so happy. Oh, is it in your mouth? Okay, she is like a foot from me. This is insane progress. I am so proud of my cats. I'm so proud of you.
Well, somebody thinks she owns the place. What are you doing on my dining room table? I can't believe you're up there already. I love you.
Good kitties, you're doing such a good job. Eating in front of me while I talk to you. I'm so proud.
Hello, Vera. Hi, Rosie. Hi. These cats are wild. And everyone that's gonna say, they're gonna destroy your furniture. I paid like $40 for that armchair, okay? It'll be fine. And there's a cat tree on the way.